special guest today. Y'all come on in, drop a comment in the chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And we got some good stuff that we're going to talk about today. We got some good stuff. So as y'all come in, drop a comment in the chat and hit that like button as well. Hit that like button, drop a comment in the chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Hope everybody having a beautiful Friday.
So pretty here. So I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, it ain't too cold and and we still got that little breeze down here. So
We do too.
I'm loving it. So we'll get started as, people come in. Y'all drop a comment in the chat. Okay, we got somebody in there.
Yeah, I seen a heart. I'm waiting for my son to join.
Okay, y'all hit that like button if y'all coming in as well. Hit that like button. There we go. There we go.
Look,
Let us know where y'all tuning in from.
I'm on here. It's live now.
I'm live from Southeast Georgia and Castleberry Branch. Tell them where you live from.
I'm here. We're in East Central Alabama. So we're like an hour and a half from Atlanta.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, now we got a few people in there. Good morning. Good morning. I'm on the Oregon coast right now, getting ready to head out to Kansas, man. I love following what you do. Appreciate it, Dwayne. What's going on, Dwayne, man? Good to see you on here. So you driving to Kansas from Oregon? That's a long drive. That's a long drive. But okay, so as y'all coming in, man, y'all drop a comment in the chat, hit that like button. But we're gonna get started, and we're just gonna let the conversation flow. So before we get into it, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, Marty, and your platform and everything like that, and then we'll get into the topic at hand.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm super excited to be here, and I'm from Alabama. I'm just southern, super southern raised, and we live on like a half acre. And I currently have like 31 chickens, but we have had like a whole herd of goats, and we had rabbits and chickens all here on this half acre. Now, granted, we are on like the outskirts of town, but and we've got big gardens. We've had a lot of garden spots, and
yeah,
we do what we can on a very small scale, but you can do a lot of things. So, and I have 9 children. So I'm a mama to 9. We homeschool, and let's see, I've got 5 grandchildren. I just had a little granddaughter the other day. So
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So we're living the life, doing all we can, I guess. And I feel I'm only 44, but like some days I feel very old, but then some days I feel very young and unexperienced because there's so many people with so much more knowledge than I have. But I'm definitely trying and learning as we go, and that's all we can do.
Most definitely, and I do want to say congratulations on getting monetized, because
thank you.
I understand you just got monetized, so definitely congratulations on that.
Yeah, I did. I'm excited.
Yeah, most definitely, and I'm glad the fact that you brought up that you're doing a lot on, a small acre of land, which it really isn't that small, but
it's not.
Yeah, it's like when you start like getting into land and buying land and homesteading, you realize just how much 1 acre is. So
right.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because that's what I want to encourage people to do. Start where you're at. And you don't have to go out and buy all this land like you see on YouTube and all that type of stuff, but you can do a lot on what you have right now, or you could just start with 1 acre or half an acre.
Right. Yes, absolutely. I agree with that. And if you may think, oh, an acre or even a half an acre, or you may think 3 acres isn't much. Go walk 3 acres with your feet. Like go from one side to the other, or go walk 5 acres.
Yeah.
That's a lot of land.
That's
it really is. It's a lot. You just don't realize it.
No, you're absolutely right about that. You're absolutely right. So what we kind of want to talk about today is maximizing your food source, and because I know that you're like an expert on that. That's what you kind of focus on your channel,
right?
And taking steps towards self-sufficiency, because I see you doing that as well. So I want to talk about that. So the first question is, so what is the why? Oh, look like I got some company over here. So what's your why? Like, as far as why should we be trying to maximize our food source and become self-sufficient as possible? From your perspective.
From Set Apart Garden, son. That's the channel. Sorry, my son couldn't find the. He couldn't find.
No, you're fine.
He couldn't find the live stream.
You're fine.
So I guess my why would be like the situation that's going on right now. And what you always say, if you give somebody the power to feed you, they have the power to starve you. So, I want to make sure that I'm taking responsibility for myself, because if I don't take responsibility for myself and my family, who else is going to? Like, I'm not going to depend on someone else to feed us. And in this day and age, I kind of think that's foolish. Like, it's a foolish thing to do.
Sorry about that. I got some company over here,
That's
so I was
okay.
I was addressing them real quick. I'm sorry about that. But if
That's
you need anything, I'm right over here. All right. Yeah. Sorry about that. But
No,
no.
it's okay, because I'm like trying to get my son to find the live stream. So
Okay. Okay. But no. So I was listening, and one thing that stuck out to me that you said, as far as, something I always say, which is when you give somebody the power to feed you, you give them the power to starve you,
yes,
and that's kind of like the mindset that you kind of took, when it comes to wanting to be self-sufficient and maximizing your food source.
yes.
Because I feel like it's important that we talk about the purpose, because mindset is everything.
Oh, I agree.
Mindset is everything. And once people start to change their mindset, then the actions will soon follow.
Right.
And so that's why I like to bring these type of topics up and say these certain things to get people thinking. Like, man, if people do have the power to feed me, they truly can starve me if they want to.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's true. I mean, that is so true. Like, all the people, there are people right now who are freaking out because this is just beginning to dawn on them that
Mm-hmm.
they became comfortable in something that, even if they need it, they're comfortable in it. And if you're comfortable, when you're comfortable, you don't change. I
That's
mean, I
true.
know I don't. If I'm
True.
comfortable, why am I going to change? And like,
That's true.
I was forced into this basically just because my circumstances changed. And
Right.
my circumstances were secure. I was secure, I assumed, but I was wrong. And that's something else I want to point out is a lot of people are like, "Oh, I've got a secure job, everything's good." You don't know that.
Thank you.
You
Because
do
I'm gonna
not
tell you
know that. You don't know that, because you might get
yeah.
pink slipped, or
Yep.
somebody might not like you. And like in my state, they don't have to have a reason. They can just let you go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't get too comfortable.
And see, that's the thing. Like I can totally relate, because that happened to me. Like, y'all know what, I walked away from my career. Well, I was,
Right.
pretty much forced out, but I still had the decision to walk
Right.
in.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just said absolutely. I'm agreeing with you.
Oh yeah, yeah. And this is the thing, like, because I was kind of in that mindset where I'm like, well, my career is secure. I'm in the government. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Government workers, as long as you're doing what you want, what you're supposed to do, you're not gonna get fired. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, all it took was, for these events to start happening this year for me to see really just how easy it is to be let go. And like you said, this is why we shouldn't get too comfortable, especially with our basic necessities.
Right.
Like you can get comfortable with other things, but like when it comes to your food and your water, your shelter, those things you need to survive, you can't be comfortable with that. You always need to have a backup plan for a backup plan when it comes to those things, so you can at least be able to eat and have water, you know what I'm saying, at the very bare minimum.
Right. Yes. And
Yeah.
when you and me, like, I think about myself, and so like I could survive on a whole lot less, but then I
Hmm.
think about my kids, and my
True.
youngest is 6, so he he doesn't know any different. Like, he couldn't get out and survive. So I think about them, and I want to make sure that they grow up and they realize that, number one, nothing is handed to you. You
True.
have to work. I
Yep.
mean, it may feel like something's handed to you for a time, but it's really not. And
Hmm.
there's usually a cost behind it somewhere.
Absolutely.
And I just want my kids to see that, hey, we have to work for things,
Hmm.
and that we are responsible for. Of course, I'm a Christian, so I believe in God, and
Hmm.
I believe God ultimately is in control. But as far as here humanly on earth,
Hmm.
I'm responsible. I have to be responsible for myself and
Absolutely.
my kids, and I want to teach them that. I want them to
Mhm.
learn skills that, you know, a lot of kids these days, they're not even learning those type of skills. They're
That's
just
true.
sitting in front of something, a
Yep.
screen, or they're just sitting. They never go outside. They never.
Right.
They're the world, like the society, we're so disconnected from, number one, where our food comes from, but we're so disconnected from the way that we
Yep.
originally were created to live. We're so disconnected.
And see, that is all by design.
It
And that
is. Oh, I
and, and
agree.
and that goes back into like what I was saying yesterday on the live video, when I said, if you don't have a plan, they already have a plan for you.
That's
They
right.
already have a lifestyle manufactured for you, and if
That
you
is
don't
right.
have a plan to start, you know what I'm saying, doing for self, becoming self sufficient, they want you dependent
They
because when you're
do.
dependent, they can
Absolutely.
control you.
Yes, absolutely. And just like this situation that is happening, if you're if you're dependent on them, say you're dependent on them for housing, you're dependent on
Yes,
them for food.
yes,
That's what they want you to. They want
yes,
you to be like that. They
yes.
want you to think, "Oh, I can't do any better than this. I've got to be here." Whatever. They want you to have this mindset that I can never do any better. So I
Mhm.
personally believe that society, they like, especially some people, they beat you down. It's almost like a caste system. You
Yeah, oh
know,
yeah,
oh, you're who you are, and that's it. Like you're just, this is who you're supposed to be, and you're going to be this person, and you never have a chance to be anybody else. Like,
right,
and it takes a strong-minded individual to overcome that, and then
absolutely.
change. You know, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, because you run the risk of being ostracized. You know what I'm saying? Like when you step away from the status quo and what everybody else is doing as far as the career and just living that whole lifestyle, how the American way rather. And when
right,
you start saying, you know what, I'm gonna start being self-sufficient. I'm gonna start raising chickens. I'm gonna move out to the country. I'm a
right,
homeschool. You know, I'm not gonna take all these jabs and stuff like that.
right.
People start looking at you crazy, like,
You're
because like for instance, when it comes to homeschooling, like when certain family members they say, well, what about the your kids, their social life? They're not gonna be able to make friends and all this. And I'm like, well, you do know that there are extra curricular activities that kids can do that they can be socialized. They don't have to
right,
sit in school to be
right.
socialized. And it's like we have to really, like, you know what I'm saying, like it takes a certain amount of bravery and faith to do that because like I said, you will be talked about, you will be looked at crazy, but at the same time you realize that, hey, these people right here who looking at you crazy, they're going to be the ones looking crazy when stuff hits the fan and they're not able to provide for themselves, and now they saying, man, I should have did what you did.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right. I agree with that completely. And we've gotten, over the years, people have been like, "Oh, you're crazy. Your kids can't. They're not going to be able to socialize with other kids." And I'm like, my kids do socialize with other kids, but
Right.
most importantly, my children have. I have adult children. They've grown up and they're just
Mm.
fine. They know how to. My kids know how to interact with adults and children.
Right.
Reality is, see, that's why they want you to send your kids to school. They want them
Yeah.
to sit for 8 hours a day in
Yes.
a classroom because
Yes.
that's what they want them to do in the workforce. They want them to be
Yes.
somebody. It's modern day slavery, and I
It
know
is.
that sounds crazy, but that's all it is. And I'm not down with it, like,
Yeah, no, it
at all.
absolutely is because that goes into, like, kind of how they try to label a lot of young boys like
Yes,
ADHD and all this type of stuff because they can't sit down for 8 hours.
they're
Like,
not
you got to
designed
think.
to.
Exact. Thank you. Like especially young boys, but kids in general, they're not designed to sit for long periods of time, just, you know what I'm saying, learning something or looking at a board or whatever. No, they're meant to be outside in nature, learning things like,
Right.
hands-on learning. Like, hey, let's go actually do some math and build something. Let's use
Yes.
geometry in real life.
Yes, that's right.
Let's look at science in real life. Let's go look at the soil and all the organisms in the soil and how the ecosystem works. That's real true science learning in real time.
Right. I agree.
We were not designed to learn it, you know what I'm saying, like you say, by sitting in the classroom all day.
Yeah.
But
No, I agree
but
with that.
yeah, but when you understand that, again, this is all designed to make you a better worker, an obedient worker, a
Yes.
sheep to the system, then you realize, what's truly going on and what's truly at play.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. It's like sheep to the slaughter.
Oh yeah.
They want you to follow whatever they say and just stay with the status quo, and you're good. And who
Hmm.
you are is who you are, and they don't want you to think that you can be anything other than what they tell you can
Yeah.
be. And that's just not okay.
Exactly. No, exactly. So now that we have the why, like, what I'm saying, the mindset as far as why we want to maximize our food source, why we want to become self-sufficient. What are some tips from for beginners from your perspective to maximize their food source? Like, what are some
Um
tips from you that, like, just somebody like just starting off, don't know nothing from nothing. What are some of your tips?
My tips would be, I'm like you with the books. I love books. I love
Mm,
books that I can hold in my hands and I can keep in case we don't have the internet or I'm
right.
somewhere. I still have a physical book in my hand. So I would evaluate yourself. Number one, evaluate the things that you need to change or that you could do differently. Because if you're if you're living in apartments and you don't have a yard, obviously
Right.
you can't plant things in your yard. You may could get together with other people and try to start like a community garden.
Thank you.
But if you're just like just beginning, go to the library. If you can't afford to buy books, there's
Mm,
thrift books is great, but say you can't even afford that.
mm.
So go to the library. If you don't have a vehicle, public transportation or whatever, go to
let,
the
let, let,
library.
let me pause right there and dwell on that, because you brought up a great point. Because like you say, not everybody may have the means to go on Amazon and buy these
Right.
books. And everybody might not have transportation, but this is the thing, right? There is still no excuse, because you just
No,
pointed out there's a free resource. You can go to the library,
that's
get
right.
you a library card, and rent the books out.
Yep.
And if you don't have a car to get to the library, you can take a bus, you can walk, you can take a bicycle, but you can't you can't always try to make excuses for yourself as to why you can't. And
Right.
with this last video that I just did about the SNAP benefits, most of the comments were positive, of course, but you had a lot of people giving excuses, right? Some valid, but some were just, you know what I mean, just excuses as far as to why they can't start making steps to becoming
Right.
self-sufficient. And it just reminded me, like, a lot of people, they just want to have the excuse so that they don't have to do it,
Oh yeah. No,
because
absolutely.
there's a way for everything.
There is. Where there's a will, there's a way. And it would be better to do it now. Like say everything goes back to normal.
Hmm.
So say that, the government comes back and everybody's like, oh, everything's good. Here's
Hmm.
your benefits back.
Yeah.
Let this be a lesson. Let
Yeah.
this be a lesson that they can literally
Yes.
take anything from you
Yes.
whenever they please. It doesn't bother them
At all, because they
because
still
they're
get paid
good.
during the shutdown.
They're good. They're
Yeah.
good. It
Yeah.
doesn't bother them. So I would say let this be a lesson. Go to the library, read books. And if you're not good at reading, like you're not that's not your thing. Audiobooks.
True.
You can
True.
also get those free from your library on your device, or at least my
Mm,
library. I mean, there's all kinds of steps you can take, but
right.
that would be the first thing I would say is learn. Figure out what you can do and then learn. Learn about it and go from there. Obviously, you're probably not going to have a garden right now
Right.
because it's about to be winter, but you can start buying things for the spring or preparing for the spring. Go to the
Hmm.
Dollar Tree, non GMO
Hmm.
seeds. They put them
Right.
out in like February. You can buy them for cheap. They're still like four for $1.25.
Hmm.
Yeah, and seeds last for years, even past the
Oh yeah.
expiration. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
keep them in a dark place, keep them dry. They're good.
No,
Um,
absolutely.
but that
And,
and if that's not your thing too, like the next thing that I would say is if you're having to go to the grocery store and you're buying things at the grocery store,
hmm,
buy ingredients to make meals.
thank
Don't
you.
go buy the box of ravioli. I mean,
Hmm.
you can buy noodles, you can buy pasta sauce, but you can make your own pasta sauce.
Yes.
Like the more of like from scratch cooking you get, the
Right.
cheaper it gets. Like
That,
it's
I'm
cheaper.
telling you.
It's cheaper and it tastes
Telling
better.
you.
And yes, there's a learning curve if you
Hmm.
don't know how to do it. But I promise you, even if you buy, like you were saying last night on one of the videos, or it might have been a live, you were saying if you can't afford like special flour, just buy regular flour.
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
okay because guess what? It's still better than what you're
Thank you.
buying at the store.
Thank you.
It's better
Thank
and
you.
it goes further and it tastes better it tastes better.
It does.
Period.
And again, like, because I want to go back to something you said earlier, when you're talking about like how you're not connected to your food. Like when you start cooking from scratch and you know the ingredients that's in your food, you have a real connection with your
You
food.
do.
Like
Yeah,
just like because a lot of people think, well, to get the connection to my food, meaning I gotta process it or I gotta go slaughter this or process this animal, or no. Like if you're just cooking from scratch and you put that effort in, you mix the flour with the water, with this ingredient, with that ingredient. By the time it's done, and whether you're making, like, let's just say bread, for example, a loaf of bread, you're
right.
making a loaf of bread from scratch. And when that loaf of bread is done and you've seen everything that it took to make that, you're gonna look back and say, man, wow, I really did that. But when
Yeah,
you're eating it, you have a certain connection to it,
you do.
because there's nothing in the back of your mind saying, well, I hope it ain't nothing harmful in this, because
Right.
you know what you made it yourself.
Yeah, like my daughter just made bread today. 5 ingredients. Get
Yes.
your bread from Walmart because I
Yes.
bought some.
Okay.
Buy your bread from Walmart and flip it over and read your ingredients. I promise you, there'll be more than 5 ingredients, and you
Yeah.
won't be able to pronounce half of them.
I'm telling you. Like food, like I said this on the video. I say food doesn't come in a box or a bag and it
No,
has
it doesn't.
10 plus ingredients and you can't even name half of them.
No.
Like that's not food. That's edible. That's something that's tasty and edible that you can
Yes.
digest.
Yes.
But it doesn't have any nutritional value.
No.
And so like we have to start kind of, examining this, like you said. Go look at the bread that you're buying from the store. You just think it's flour and whatever, but no, you got maltodextrin and this and that and stuff you can't even pronounce. It's like,
Right.
well, what's the purpose for all of this? Enriched wheat flour. Why
Right.
does it have to be enriched? Why
Right.
can't it be regular wheat flour?
Right. And something else, and I've noticed this, just like we bought a bag of chips at Sam's, and I go to Sam's and I buy chips, and I'm shopping. I feed a lot of people, and I have to do it for a really low
Hmm.
budget. But I'm sitting. My daughter pointed out to me like some of this stuff, the lifespan on this is like
Hmm.
a year.
Yes.
And I told her, I was like, now, if you can something at home, say not chips, but say you can green beans, of
Yeah.
course, they're going to last
Yeah.
quite a while. But
Right.
when you're buying things at the grocery store and their shelf life is years and years and years, it's kind of like, I don't know about it. Like,
Cause think about how long is some of these ingredients sitting in your body.
yeah,
Like of course you may have digested most of it, but some of
right.
that stuff, that the preservatives might still be sitting in your body for a longer period of time.
Absolutely. And that's scary when you think about it. That's why we're so sick. Like, that's
Yeah.
why we're very sick. And
Yes.
as a society, we're sick. But they
Yeah.
also they want that because if you're
Yeah.
sick, then they can fix you and they can make more money.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's just not it's just not okay. Like,
Hmm.
I certainly don't agree with everything that happened in the past, but if we went back to the past, if we lived the way, like my dad's family was from Mississippi, like they were poor, and my grandmother, she had 11 kids. They were poor people,
Yeah.
but she took care of her family. They grew their food, and they were
Hmm.
like sharecroppers. They were just picking in the fields for other people, and they took their share, and
Hmm.
that's how they fed their family.
Right. And most families back then and most people back then had those skills. Like everybody had garden. Well, most people had gardens. If you had a
Right.
yard, 9 times out of 10 you had a garden in that
Yeah,
yard. Or
absolutely.
you kept chickens, or you, because I my grandmother, my grandmama, she like 60 something, right? And she always talk about her childhood and how her father, which is my great grandfather, he was from Georgia. He moved down to Florida, but she was like, my dad always had a garden. We always had
Yeah.
chickens. We always had turkeys. We had this. We had that. She was like, she could remember growing up, and she go to the field or whatever where the garden, she could just pick a tomato and eat it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And like that was second nature. And we oftentimes think it was so long ago, but it really wasn't that long ago that
No, it
people had
wasn't.
these skills. It's in the most recent decades where a lot of us have lost these skills by going to corporate America and moving to the
Right.
suburbs and moving into these apartments. But our grandparents and great grandparents, they had these skills.
Right. They
So
did.
it's like,
And that's
mm,
true. That's absolutely true. I mean, we've been kind of just pushed into societal norms that
right,
were not societal norms back then.
yeah,
And here we are today. And look at the product of it. Look at
yes,
the youth
yes,
of today. Look at the youth of today, the kids.
yes,
Like, I'm just speechless, really. I mean, my
mhm,
kids, I look at my kids and I'm like, I'm so grateful. I'm grateful they're not out with the other kids. Like,
yes,
I'm so grateful.
right.
So grateful.
No, me too. Me too. Most definitely. Like, and I'm grateful that my kids, like, especially like my younger kids, their whole life they saw me with chickens and farming, with different things. So it's like it's second nature to them. Like
Right.
they're not surprised if I got a goat hanging up, you know what I'm saying, that
Right.
I just skinned and gutted. They're not surprised when they see a chicken being plucked. Like it's second nature to them. And
Right.
it's like as they grow up, these things they're just gonna be able to do just off the bat. And,
Yes.
and, and I'm very glad that they're getting this experience because they're gonna know how to survive in life.
They are.
And that's why, like, a lot of these skills I'm learning, like I'm about to get a trade in carpentry and electricity. I'm gonna be able to teach my sons that. So it's like,
Right.
in addition to farming and homesteading, they're gonna know how to build stuff. Like, that's gonna be second nature to them. So when they get out into the world, they're gonna be self-sufficient, pretty much self-sufficient already. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I definitely get what you're saying about the youth, and how it is important that we instill it in them, because they are so impressionable right now.
Right. No,
And
I
if you don't,
agree. I agree with that 100%. And that's good. That is good. And it's not that, like, I don't think that women or young women, it's not that I don't think they should have skills, because I
Mhm.
absolutely think that they should have skills
Yeah,
and they should be able to do things.
right.
But it is so important to me, especially with my boys. Like, I want them to know that, some of the things that are like said in society, like, that's
Mhm.
not the norm.
Right,
You should, it is not normal to just be running with your friends, and you don't have a job, you don't have no ambition, you're just
right,
laying up with whoever, whatever. I don't want my kids to ever be that way. Like, I want my boys to be men. Like, I want
right.
them to be sufficient men who can stand on their own 2 feet and who can take care of themselves and their business, and not just think, well, like today's youth, it's like, well, we just do whatever, like we're
Right.
kids. They're 40 years old and they're still kids. Like,
Yeah.
I that's just, and I see it all around. I mean, I've got
Right.
family members that are that way. Like, you're just like, that is not okay.
Right.
That's not how it was. Like, my
Right.
dad, he wasn't perfect, but he set the bar high. And
Mm,
my dad was a worker, and
mm.
he had worked with his hands, and he took care of us well.
Yeah.
And today, society, it doesn't push that. They want you
And,
to be in a little cubicle on your
yeah.
computer behind a screen. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. That's fine, but you need to still have skills that can help you survive if everything
Mhm.
else goes down.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And to hit on what you were saying as far as your father being a hard worker, it's something about a young, especially a young man, seeing a grown man get up and go to work every day. That instills something in them. Like, growing up and stuff, like my grandmother, she kind of raised me, a lot. And so, like, when I would be staying with my grandmother, I would see my granddad get up and go to work every day.
Right.
No excuses. If it's
Right.
raining outside, if it's cold outside, if it's too hot, he's under somebody car working on something.
Right.
And,
That's right.
and
My
he's
daddy
in
too.
and
My
he's in
dad
his
too.
70s, and he's still working on cars to this day.
Right.
And so I saw that as a young man. And like, when I became an adult, I always had it in the back of my mind, like, man, my granddaddy, he get up and go to work, no excuses. What is my excuse? You
That's
see what
right.
I'm saying? So, like, it's important that we instill those things, and that we raise capable children, capable
Yes.
men, capable women. So when they get
Right.
of age, they're able to do things. They're able to work. They know the value of a dollar.
Yes.
It's not that we're just throwing money at them. Oh, you get the new Jordans, or you get the tablets and the iPad.
Right.
No, this stuff costs money, and you need to understand how money is made.
Yes. That's right. Because if everything is handed to you,
Hmm.
you don't appreciate it. Easy come,
No.
easy go, as they
Yep.
say. I
Yep.
mean, why do I care? Because I didn't pay for it.
Yep.
And yeah, that's another issue in society. I think that we've gotten too comfortable. And
Oh yeah.
then this generation, especially these kids today, these young people today, they have the wrong role models. They're looking
Yeah.
up to people that, these people, for one, half of them are not living the life they say they're living. It's all just
Right.
fabricated.
Yep.
Um, but they're too busy, watching people on TikTok or
Yeah.
Instagram, or rappers or somebody. They're living these big crazy lifestyles
Mhm.
that's not reality.
Right.
Like, I've had to tell my kids, even, like, they'll say something about somebody, and I'll be like, look, that's not reality. That
It's
is
not.
not. It's not reality. That's literally fake. That is
Yeah, it's an
fake.
illusion.
It is
They
an
can
illusion.
paint the picture how they want to paint it, and you have people who, are trying to fashion their lives after these entertainers and rappers or singers or
Yes.
whoever, not even realizing, man, they're not even living like that.
No, they're not. And
Th-
half of them are miserable.
yeah.
They're miserable,
Yeah.
miserable. But
That's
and
that.
that's horrible. Like, and it's sad that society wants to sell that to,
Yeah.
especially to children. Like, why do you
Right.
want to sell that lifestyle to them? It's because
Yeah.
it goes back to, they have a plan.
Oh
And
yeah.
it sounds crazy, but
Yeah.
they have a plan, and everyone is falling into it. And
Well, yeah,
this
most people are.
here is a good test. Like this is showing you
Yeah.
just what time it is really.
It is, and like you said earlier too, you said everything can go back to normal. They can open the government back up and
Right.
issue those benefits out. But what did you learn from what just happened?
That's right.
Because this is the thing. Like, I'm not a fear mongering type of person. Like,
I'm
oh,
not neither.
everything is just, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. It could go either way. It can
Right.
go. It can stay shut down, or they can open it back up. Things go to normal. We saw what happened with COVID. Everybody
Right.
thought COVID was the end of the end.
Right.
Now look, we're kind of sort of back to kind of normal. So it's like, but what are you gonna do even if it does go back to normal? What will you change in your life
Right.
right now with the lessons that you've learned?
Absolutely. And I have things just me myself. I
Hmm.
remember when COVID hit, I had stuff stocked up, but
Hmm.
I actually had a friend who was a prepper, and like the month before, he just randomly wrote me, and he's like, "Hey, you might need to stock up on some things. There's an illness going around," and he was like,
Yeah.
he gave me the heads up, and I did. I went and got like random stuff, and so I was stocked up.
Hmm.
But I do remember what it's like to where you can't go. Like they were trying to tell us we couldn't go outside. Like I'm going to go outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going outside. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going outside. Like you're not going to keep me in my house. But when things, when when someone or some entity can control you like that,
Right.
like how this has just shifted, and like you said, I'm not a fear mongering person, so I don't know. They may open it up Monday and everything may be great,
Exactly.
but they may not. And if they
Right.
don't, there's going to be people that lose their minds.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And the lesson that should be learned in this, one way or the other, is you can depend on yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And
Be prepared.
I hate that we have to be backed into a corner or put in a position where we are forced to,
Right,
instead of being proactive already. And when stuff like this happens, you're already prepared because you've
right,
already been doing things.
right.
But I hate that it's so sudden. But at the same time, it is a kick in the behind for a lot of people,
It
and
is.
it's a wake up call
Yes,
that they needed,
yes.
because we should have learned from COVID.
We
We
should
should
have.
have the pandemic. We
Right,
should have learned from that. But it's like we got to keep being reminded, because we keep going back to sleep. Every time something happens, we wake up, and then when everything is smoothed over, the pacifier back in our mouth, and we go back
right,
to sleep, and
right,
we go along until the next thing happens. And it's like,
right.
no, once you're up, stay awake,
That's right,
stay alert.
right.
Don't
It's
accept the pacification anymore.
That's right. It's the comfort. We want to be comfortable.
Yeah,
We want to just be secure in our
yeah,
own little world. We just want to be everything to be okay. And
yeah.
like honestly, even if you don't realize it, it's not okay. Like things are
No,
not okay.
no,
They haven't been okay in a long, long time.
at all.
And I'm not political at all. I have
Yeah,
no interest in politics
same
because
here.
honestly, like I said, God is in control, and I think there's craziness on all sides,
Absolutely.
and I don't trust anybody like that because
Yes.
I don't think they have my best interest in mind.
I was just about to say, you can't trust anybody outside of, what I'm saying, yourself, because again, like you said, you have your best interest at heart. You're
Right?
not going to starve yourself. You're not going to treat yourself bad. You're not going to, what I'm saying, do all these things to yourself for a gain. But
No.
you can't say the same thing about, these politicians or these corporations, because their whole goal is to get your dollar and your energy.
Yes, they just
So it's
want your
like,
money.
yeah, that's it. They want your money, but most importantly too, they want your dependency. They want to get you
Yes.
addicted to what they have.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, once you realize that, and you realize like, hey man, yeah, you got this side, you got that side, but really none of them really care about you. So
No.
it's like, let me start looking within and start seeing how I can secure my future and my kids' future.
Yes. And I think too they want to turn everybody against each other. And if
You went out for a
everybody
minute. What did you say?
I said I think that they want to turn everyone against each other.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
Division.
if you're all divided,
Mm-hmm.
then you're just going to fight. It's just going to be chaos.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. But so now that we have some tips, I'm sorry, I'm moving to my point.
That's
But
okay.
now that we have some tips, right? Like books, you know what I'm saying, different things like that. Like, what are some tips as far as like grocery shopping that you can give people, like what they should be buying, some staples? Because I mentioned some like your flour, your cornmeal, but if you have any other like staples that last you a long time that you're able to feed your family on? I want you to share them.
Okay, so I just did a video on this. Like it's 2 videos ago, I think. I did a video about. I included a list of what I would
Mm-hmm.
consider staple items, and what I feel like is ingredients make a meal.
Yeah,
So you need ingredients to make food,
yeah,
and if just basic ingredients. I mean, flour, cornmeal, um, oats, grits. You need, of course, cooking oil of some kind,
mm-hmm.
some sort of cooking oil, whatever you prefer. Um, sugar or some sort of sweetener,
Sugar. Yeah, sugar. That's the yeah.
and you need yeast. You can have yeast,
Yeast. Yep.
even if you just get a few packs.
Yep. And yeast could last you a
It
long
does.
time.
It
Depend
does.
and let me say with yeast, Walmart, you can go to Walmart. They got the great value. Like it don't cost
Hmm.
like you can get like the jars of it. It'll last you a
Yes.
while.
Yes. So that's on the list. Of course, your dairy. You're going to need butter,
Yeah.
eggs. I use buttermilk, but if you
Hmm.
don't want to use buttermilk, then you can use, or if you don't want to use like cold milk, you can use powdered milk. Like there's
True.
powdered buttermilk,
Buttermilk.
there's
Yeah.
powdered milk. Like if
Yeah.
you can't, just for storage, you could have
Yeah.
that. Um,
Something I just thought about too while you're thinking. Don't slack off on your seasonings. You want to have seasonings and stuff too.
yes,
You want your food to taste good. So,
yes.
one thing I recommend is kosher salt.
Oh
You can
yes,
go
me
to any
too.
grocery store and get like the box of kosher salt. It don't cost that
Yes,
much, a few bucks. But that way you'll have salt that lasts you. I don't believe in the iodized salt. I don't think that's real healthy for you. But
right.
the
I don't
kosher
use
salt,
it.
yeah, the kosher salt, or you can do the Himalayan salt. But make sure you're getting seasonings and stuff too, and like you say, sweeteners, sugar. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get jars of honey, you know what I mean?
Right.
Honey will last you too. Agave, that's another sweetener. So yeah, make
Yes.
sure it's not just you getting the flour and all that type of stuff. You want it to taste good too.
Yes, you do. Because we're so conditioned to our food tasting a certain way. When you start eating food that's you've made yourself,
Hmm.
you're going to be like, it doesn't taste the same.
Yeah.
But yes, garlic powder, onion powder, minced onions. I use Cajun seasoning a lot. Like I enjoy that. Just whatever you prefer taste wise. Definitely get seasonings
Oh, for
because
sure.
your food's going to be bland without it.
I'm telling you, yeah.
And and we're used to eating food that has all these crazy ingredients in it, so we're not
Hmm.
used to what food really tastes like.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you have to get
Absolutely.
used to that. Like you've
Yeah.
got to readjust your taste.
Hmm.
But I've made out a whole list.
Okay.
I
And,
made
and
a
you said you
list.
posted that video on your channel?
I did. I can't think of the name of the video. It was like 2 videos ago. I posted a grocery haul today
Okay.
and a recipe, a cooking video before that. So it'll be my third newest video.
All right,
Um,
so if y'all not subscribed to Castleberry Branch, go over to and subscribe to her and check out those videos, and those grocery hauls that she's doing. That's real good, and I feel like you can learn from it. But yeah, now is the time to really start buying in bulk. Start buying ingredients that'll last you. Start learning how to like that was one of my main tips. Start learning how to cook from scratch. It's not that
yes.
hard. Like a lot of people think it's hard to cook from scratch because it might not taste like your grandma cooking at first, but
Right.
as you get over the learning curve and you kind of learn, like, okay, it only take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, then it gets easier. You know what I mean? Like, but again, just starting off, it's you got content creators that can teach you how to make certain things from scratch. You got the internet at your fingertips. You can buy
Yes.
books that'll teach you. So it's like start buying in bulk, start cooking from scratch, start having those staple things like your rice, your flours, all of that type of stuff that's going to last you a long time. So you're not eating out all the time. You're not
Right.
eating all these ultra processed foods.
Right. I agree with that. And when you get used to it, when you go, like my daughter, for instance, she made like a dish from Olive Garden. It's like a
Oh,
copycat meal,
yeah.
and I could taste every single flavor in that dish. When I
Mhm.
went to Olive Garden and ordered the same thing, it didn't taste as good as hers.
Wow.
I mean, because I could take like her, it was fresh. Even though I
Yeah.
know they say their stuff is fresh. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're gonna pay $100 to eat there for two
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
but it's really not fresh. It's not fresh like you can make at
No,
home.
it's not.
And it was expensive to make the meal, but she made it and she fed like 6 of us with it.
Yeah, it probably was less expensive
It
than
was
what you would spend
way
at the
less
restaurant.
expensive. Yes, it was way less expensive, and it was delicious.
Right.
And that's just You just got to jump in, and you
Yeah.
just have to get in and do it, and just decide that hey, you're going to learn something, and you're going to be successful at it,
And like you
and you
said,
can.
and
It
like you
just
said, readjusting your taste buds because it is going to taste slightly different at first.
it
Like
is.
if you like for instance, if you process your own chickens, it's going to taste different from a chicken that you buy at the store.
Oh, it does. Right.
Even the eggs that you get from your chicken coop, it's going to taste different from the store bought eggs. It's going to look different.
It looks a
You
whole lot different.
know?
You'll be
Exactly.
surprised. You'll be like, wow. And yeah, you will be shocked.
No, you will. And so that's why, but like you said, just do it. You know what I'm saying? Just do it and start where you're at. But like you say, you know what I mean? Just do it and you'll learn as you go and you'll get adjusted as you go. But it's like now is the time to do it because you don't want to be forced to do it. You don't
No,
want to be backed into a corner that have to start doing stuff for yourself and start readjusting your taste buds because now you're just trying to survive.
right.
You know what I mean? But it's
You
like,
don't,
no. Oh, go ahead.
that's, no, I mean, you're right. That's exactly what I was going to say. If you're like backed into a corner, you don't have time to process
Nope.
everything that's going on.
Nope.
So I just want to stress if they open everything back up and everything goes back to normal, please use this as a learning experience. Use this as a lesson that someone somewhere has control.
Oh yeah.
And you take control for yourself. And even if you still get benefits, if you get those, start cooking your stuff from scratch.
Yeah.
Start buying things and stocking them up. So when this
Yes.
happens again, and I say when this happens again,
Right.
because it will,
Right.
you will be prepared. Or
Yes.
if anything happens, if you lose your job or if you're sick or you never know what's going to happen, you need to be prepared. We all need to be prepared for the inevitable, anything could happen. That's just all I can say. Anything can
Yeah,
happen.
and let's say this too on the contrary. Let's just say, things do go back to normal, the economy gets better. Because it's not just about a survival situation. Like when you implement these skills, you're also able to build wealth and put money to the side and invest
Absolutely.
money that you would spend on fast food or these processed foods. The money that you save from not spending on that stuff, you can invest it in different things to acquire wealth and to
Yes.
acquire more, so you can buy land and buy these things. So it's like it's just good practices to have overall, not
Right.
just for survival, but you can because and not to like make it racial or anything, but like a lot of times when I go to Sam's or Costco, I see a lot of Mexican or Hispanic people,
Right.
and they buying bulk. They buying the big
Yes, they
bags of
do.
rice, they buying the beans, they buying everything in bulk. And it be like maybe two or three families living in one house.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And they
We
they
can
go
learn a
grocery shop.
lot from them. We can learn a lot from them.
Yes, yes, like
My neighbors are Hispanic, and I'm going to tell you, they they're some of the best people. They are
mhm.
some of the best people, and but they take care of their own.
Oh, for sure,
They
for
really
sure.
do.
And what a lot of people don't realize, especially like up in like the North Georgia area around Atlanta, you have a lot of like Hispanics and stuff that have bought up a lot of property because like I say, what they'll do, they'll all live in the same house and stuff like that and save their money. Then they'll go and buy other properties, fix it up because a lot of them are handy. They'll
Right.
fix it up and then rent it out. So now they're building wealth within their community. It's
Yeah.
like we can take notes from that, but it starts with your food source. It starts with the practices as far as what you're doing every day. Are you making your dollar stretch? Or are you just spending it willy nilly?
Right. That's right. And that's, you know, I was like that for years. I didn't have to do anything else. So why would I? I mean, my
Yeah.
husband made really good money. I stayed at home with our kids. I was just living in my own little
Hmm.
universe, and then all of a sudden, here we are. Like his job changed and our whole lifestyle changed.
Yeah.
And then I look back on my parents and I started thinking, man, I wish I would have learned more from them. My parents, they did well for themselves, but they still took very good care of what they had. They made things last. They cooked from scratch. I never even remember going out to eat as a kid. And that's not a bad thing. Like I didn't miss anything by not going out to eat.
Right.
My mom can. My dad, he had a whole acre that he gardened. He
Mm.
gardened, and what we couldn't put up or used, we sold to other people, or he
Right.
bartered with other people. That's something else you can do.
Yeah.
Is
Bartering.
barter. You can
Yes.
barter with people. Say
Yes.
we don't have money. If you've got eggs, you can trade your eggs for something that someone else
Thank you.
has. I mean, that's where community comes into play. Like if you have community.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. Y'all hush. No, absolutely. Like community, like you said, and bartering. That's something that You know what I'm saying? That I feel like we should start practicing right now.
Right.
While we don't have to, but I'm just saying like it's a good practice because, like you said, if you got eggs or you're a beekeeper, you have honey.
Charger.
You know, you can start bartering and trading those things. Even your
Right.
skills. You know what I'm saying? Like people might not know how to build, so it's like, okay, I'll build this for you in exchange for this. So like, it's about having those resources, but also having the skills to barter as well.
Right. That's right. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm getting a charger from.
No, you fine. You fine. No, take your time. But
Thank you.
so the next question, I'm gonna go first, and then while you doing that, and then you can come
Okay.
in later. What does self sufficiency mean to you? So for me, what self sufficiency means, that's what I've been preaching from the jump. If y'all have been following my channel for a long time, the first thing I started talking about was self sufficiency. And so, what it means to me, like I said, is being able to provide the four basic fundamentals, you know what I'm saying, as far as for yourself, meaning water, food, shelter, protection. And when you're able to provide those things for yourself, you're not dependent. So you're able to do for self and you're able to sustain that. And now as you go deeper into self-sufficiency, you start getting the skills. You start learning how
Right.
to do different things, whether it's butchering, whether it's gardening, whether it's, digging a well, fishing, hunting, all of that type of stuff. You can add on as time goes on, but you have to have a definition of what that means to you and start implementing it right now. Even if it starts off small, like I say, you might not have a lot of space, but what can you do now to kind of like stop being dependent on something? You see what I'm saying? You
Right.
might be dependent for your produce. Okay, how can I start growing my own produce? That's a form of self-sufficiency. Now, are you 100% self-sufficient? No. A lot of us aren't, but we're working towards it. And that's all that matters. So I want to ask you, what does self-sufficiency mean to you?
Um, just like you said, I think what any step, even if it's a tiny step, is a step, and that's
Yeah.
you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not nowhere near self sufficient. Like I do depend on the grocery store.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely, but I'm self sufficient when it comes to my eggs.
Hmm.
Um, and for my family, that's like $60 a month that saves us. So
Hmm.
yeah, and we sell eggs, so we sell enough to pay for the chicken's food, and then
Oh,
what
wow.
we have left, that's all. That's profit, and we're
Right.
buying, and we're also giving ourselves eggs.
Yeah.
So we are making a return on that, and it's healthy and it's good for us, and so that's just start out small. So to me, self sufficiency can mean I live in an apartment, but I've got a tomato plant
Yep.
and I've got a cucumber vine and some squash and some peppers, and you can grow those in buckets. You can make a little raised bed.
Yep.
Somebody had said in here, I noticed in the comments that you could start things in little tins, tin cans.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can do that. You can buy a pack of cups from Walmart, the little foam cups, and
Yep.
put your seed starts in those.
Yep.
And if you don't have a grow light, use the sun.
Yep. Yep.
And that to me, self sufficiency is just the first step to the end goal, and
Yeah.
just to keep stepping and to
Yeah.
keep going that way instead of, oh well, I can't do it because I live in an apartment right now. Are you going
Mhm.
to live in an apartment forever? You may
No.
not.
Yeah.
And you don't have to. Don't be tricked into believing that you have to be where you are right now from now on, because you absolutely don't.
No,
You
absolutely.
can
And
you can do
uh,
more.
no, absolutely. And when you understand it's a marathon, not a sprint,
Yes.
like as long as you're taking the steps in the right direction, then you'll eventually get to the end goal. Like you may be in a part, and this is why I try to tell people, instead of saying, well, I can't do this, ask yourself, how can I do this? And when
Right.
you start doing that, your brain starts thinking of solutions. And so like
Yes.
I was mentoring one of my good brothers. This is years back. We had this conversation. He was like, "Man, I live in an apartment right now, and all this." And I'm like, "Okay, so do you have farms nearby where you live at? Do they have like apprenticeship programs where you can go and learn from them? Do they have any type of programs?" And he actually found one. And he was able to go out and get that experience. But I'm like, just because you don't have the land, don't mean that you can't access land. It might not be yours, but if it's a community garden, you're still gardening.
Right.
So it's like you're still getting the skills. You might not have the standard size backyard, but your aunt or your uncle or your parents, they may say, well, yeah, you can keep the chickens back there as long as you feed them and you take care of them. Yeah, you can keep them back there. You
Yes.
borrowing somebody else's backyard.
Yeah, that's right. And that's something that people don't realize too. Don't be afraid to step out and ask someone, "Hey,
Yeah.
could I put something here?"
Right.
Or you would be surprised.
Yes. Yeah,
And
for real.
And even like if you live in apartments and say you don't have anyone that you can ask, get with your neighbors. Say,
Yep.
hey, would y'all want to take the grass and like, can we make a little garden? Talk to
Yeah.
the people who are over. They're in my purse, son.
Hmm.
Sorry, I'm looking for my
No, you.
keys
No,
to
you
get
fine.
now. Now I'm trying to charge my phone and my charger doesn't work because there's no block in there. So I'm like, gotta have my keys.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
got you. Look, we only got one more question, anyways, too. So I know,
I think
because
I'm
my
on like
phone about to
five
die too.
percent. So,
Oh, you on
but
five? Okay, so
I
let's get this last question in, and then we'll talk, and if you drop off, you drop off, and then
okay.
I'll continue it. But I want to ask, because we already went into some basic steps to be self sufficient, but I want to ask, what are the key lessons we need to learn from what's happening in our country? You know what I'm saying? Just like three lessons that we should learn based off of what's happening in our country. I know we kind of went over it, but I want to focus specifically on
Um, I would say, in my opinion, number one is um, you are responsible for you.
that.
So that's the number one thing. You're responsible for yourself. Do
Mm,
not forget that. Like, keep the most important thing the most important thing, and that
mm,
is that you have to feed yourself. Like,
mm.
so
That's good.
that's the main thing.
You are responsible for you. I like that.
You are responsible for you. And even though it is nice if you get help from other places, but no one else is responsible for feeding you. Like, you're responsible for yourself and your kids, your family. You're responsible for them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's number one. That would
Yeah.
be the first thing I would say.
Right.
Absolutely, hands down.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
Number two would be, it's going to get discouraging. So be prepared for the discouragement. Be prepared
Mm,
for feeling like this is not going to work out, because a lot of that is we've been trained to think it's not going to work out.
that's true.
We've been trained to think
That's
that
true.
we have to be dependent on someone else,
Yeah.
but we don't.
No. No.
Um,
Oh, and that's good that you say that. Like, as far as we've been trained to think like, oh, it will fail. Like, for instance, when I was, when I started butchering my own meat, processing my own food, like, I had people in my family, they're like, man, I ain't gonna eat that. I don't know
right,
if that, and I don't trust that and all that type of stuff, because they thinking like, oh, because the USDA ain't inspected don't mean it ain't good. And
right.
it's like, dude, you don't realize, like, first off, you don't need the USDA to inspect the food that you process, you know what I'm saying, unless you're selling it retail. But it's like, we have the same skills and knowledge that they have. Our
Right.
people have been hunting for years. You know what I'm saying? You
Yes.
think people don't know how to harvest an animal, but it's like, unless it comes from, or it has the stamp of approval from the government, people think
Right.
that it will fail, or it's not right, or it's not, it's somehow, what I'm saying, not going to work out. But it's like, no, we have the same skills as human beings. God put it all in us to be able to survive.
Yes.
So it's
That's
like,
right.
just because it don't have the government's stamp of approval don't mean it's going to fail, or doesn't mean it's not right. So I'm glad that you say that.
Yes, that's absolute truth. For sure. And I guess the third thing would be, don't be too comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't go back to sleep, like you
Right.
said. Don't go back to sleep,
Right.
because if you do, then you're going to get woke up again,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're not prepared, eventually
Mm-hmm.
your lack of preparedness, I mean, it could be the end. I
Yeah.
mean, it could. No telling what it could cost you.
That's true.
And for me, even though I am prepared, I've got stuff stored up. I've got food, and I'm prepared in that
Mhm.
sense. We're not going to go hungry,
Right.
but at the same time, it still has shown me that I'm too comfortable.
Right.
Like, I am too comfortable with running to the grocery store. I'm too comfortable with, oh, I'm going to do a pickup and I'm going to grab this and I'm going to grab that. Um, and so it's definitely just, don't be too comfortable. Don't go back to being comfortable.
Right.
If you push yourself, growth is uncomfortable, and if you
That's
want to
true.
grow, it's going to hurt.
It is. It is. It's
It's
just
going to
like it's
hurt.
just like that analogy with the frog in the boiling water. Like, they don't put the frog, if you dump a frog in boiling water, it's gonna jump out. But if you put
Right.
a frog in some semi-warm water and get comfortable, then you turn the heat up slowly. Eventually, you'll be
Right.
able to boil that frog to death. And
Yep.
that's the same thing. You already know that they want to boil you to death. Why would you
Yep.
even get in the pot? Why would you even sit there and linger in the pot? No, jump out of the pot. You see that they slowly turning the heat up. They slowly
Yes.
turn the heat up until the point to where they turn it up so much to where you paralyzed now, you can't move. And
Yep.
now that you know what I'm saying, now it's boiling, now you're not able to move because you were not prepared. You were too
Right.
comfortable. So don't go back to sleep once you been awake. And that's not to say, oh, you got to be so extreme, like, oh, I'm gonna just cut off everything from society and go total. Because
Right.
that's what a lot of people like to preach, like, oh, go totally off grid and don't depend on nothing. And it's like, no, if some things that it's good, you go to the grocery store and buy, or you want to do this, you want to do that. But always have it in the back of your mind, like, what if I don't have this forever? You know what I'm saying? Will I still be able to survive and still be able to do for self? And if the
Yes.
answer is yes, then you know what I'm saying, you good.
Yes. That's right. I agree with that. Um, because like I have no desire to go off grid and not have power. I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah.
And I,
And that's
hey,
being real.
yeah, I'm just being honest. And I've
Right.
got friends that are like, oh yeah, I want to live in the middle of the woods and yada yada. I mean, I wouldn't mind living in the middle of the woods. That'd be great, but I still want power.
Right.
I've got kids that have asthma, and I depend on power.
Right.
And now I
Absolutely.
would love to have like solar or
Right. Right.
have that as an alternative. And I've got some cousins that have looked into it. They actually live in Georgia, South Georgia, and
Mm-hmm.
he said that it's still very expensive to get solar. So
Yeah.
I think about financially for us, we couldn't really do it at this point, but that's
Mhm.
something my husband's interested in. He's interested in solar
Me
power,
too.
but I'm sitting here going, well, what will I still be able to turn on the lights? Like
Hmm.
I don't know enough about it, but
Right.
I do know that I'm not an extremist, and
You're
there
right.
are people that are extremists
Right.
where they're like in their bunker right now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't think that's the type of situation
Hmm.
that it's going to be, but
And this is the thing too with the extremist type of mentality. Even if like they call it SHTF,
yes,
crap hitting the fan pretty much.
right.
I used to kind of like buy into it a little bit,
Me
but
too.
even in the event that stuff hits the fan, being an extremist in your mindset still isn't good because you still want to be able to be logical. You still want
Yes.
to be able to develop a plan and kind of work that plan at a moderate pace so that you can have the results that you want to have. But if you're just so extreme with everything, first off, usually those are the type of people in war, who have that mindset like, oh, it's kill or be killed. This they running into it. They either the
Yes.
first ones to get killed or something bad happened to them because they're not
Yes.
thinking clearly. You're
Yes.
thinking extreme. You're thinking everybody out to get you, or you're thinking this or that. So you're so paranoid that you're missing everything that's going on around you. So even in the event that stuff does happen that's crazy, being extreme in your mindset won't really help you like that. Now, yes, you might be more prepared than others.
Right.
Yes, you might have more weapons or whatever, but your mentality is still kind of it's not where it needs to be. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if something bad happens, first thing we all need to do is kind of like get a community where we can all work together. Not
Right.
try to be solo and people can't cross on my land because as humans we need other humans. That's just what
We
it is.
do.
So it's like we should be trying to develop communities instead of trying to isolate ourselves from people. But
Yes.
that's
I
just
agree
my
with that.
mindset.
Yeah, that's mine too. And obviously you've got to watch who you're you have to watch, I guess, who you are associating with,
Hmm.
because there are people that still don't have your best interest in mind. But then
Yeah.
there's others. Your people, and you'll know your
Yeah.
people when you're around them. But you definitely cannot. I just feel like we can't live in a bubble to where we're
Hmm.
just so paranoid about every single thing.
Right.
And I had a cousin. He was in the military, and he was very paranoid about absolutely everything. If we went to town, he had his backpack on that had all of his
Hmm.
survival gear in it, and this thing weighed like 100 pounds. And he would always say, "Hey, I don't ever know what's going to happen. I have to be
Yeah.
prepared."
Right.
And I'm just, obviously that was the extreme.
Hmm.
And he lives off grid right
Yeah.
now in the middle of nowhere with nothing,
Yeah.
and that's just he feels safest that way.
And look, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're totally off grid, because look, I mean, everybody has different goals. Everybody has different goals, but it's just the fact of I believe in everybody, starting where they're at, doing and your everybody's end goal is different. My
Yes.
end goal is I want to have solar panels. I want to, be not so dependent on the grocery stores, be able to
Right.
provide at least 80 to 90% of my food. That's my end goal. But somebody
Yes.
else's end goal might just be the garden. Somebody else's end goal might just to be keeping chickens. All of it is still good at the end of the day. So whether you totally off grid or whether you semi off grid, whether you're not off grid at all, but you still have life skills like gardening, farming, homesteading, it's all about what you want to do in your life. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
There's nothing wrong with anybody's mindset, but we have to be careful with what we're receiving from everybody because people try to make their standard your standard,
Yes.
and that's the
Yes.
problem. This is not a
Yes.
one size fits all type of deal because you
No.
have some elderly people who are dependent on medications that they can't stop taking,
Right.
like
Right.
insulin and stuff like that. So it's like we
Yeah.
have to take all that in consideration when we're talking about totally off grid. But I used to have that mindset, like I don't know if you ever saw uh it's called I forget the name, but it's a guy, he moved to Alaska. His name was Dick Prenicky. I want to say it's Alone in the Wilderness, something like that. But he was totally off grid in Alaska. He hunted, he fished, he built his own log cabin and all that. And I was inspired by that. I'm like, that's
Right.
amazing. But as I started living this lifestyle, I'm like, I don't know if I want to be like that. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. And
So
we watch people like that. We'll watch people on YouTube, and we'll see these people, and they're like building all. They build it from the ground up.
yeah.
They go in the middle of nowhere, and you're just like, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But like my goal is, I just want, like, we live in a neighborhood right now, but it's an older neighborhood. We're at the foot of a mountain. We're woods all around us. But I want us to be out where we've got some acreage, at least
Yeah,
5 acres. I mean, I
for
would
sure.
like 25, but
Yeah,
5 acres or so, and just be able to take care of ourselves as best as we can. But
absolutely.
obviously, we probably won't kill all of our food, be able to, take care of all of our needs as far as meat and things like
Hmm.
that. But maybe we can get to where, like you said, I mean, if we're doing a good portion, I'm
Absolutely.
satisfied with it.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm
Absolutely.
excited over just getting eggs. I know it
Yeah.
sounds crazy, but I'm like, hey, $60 is $60.
Yeah. I'm trying to tell you. I'm
I
trying to tell
mean,
you. Yeah,
that's pretty good. And eggs, that's a main ingredient
it
in a
is.
lot
And a
of
lot
different
of stuff.
things. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's why
I'm tickled with that.
and that's why I encourage people. Chickens should be the livestock you start with because, like I said, you can get the meat, but you also get eggs every day, or most days at
Yes.
least. And eggs are
Yes.
so versatile. You can use it to bake cakes. You can eat eggs regular. You can boil them. You can put them in salads. You can do anything you want with eggs. So it's like just having that, and like you say, $60 a month saving. That's $60. You know what I mean? That can go somewhere. Go somewhere else that's worth it. So I definitely agree. I think she might have dropped off. I think she might have dropped off. But so again, man, hopefully you guys learned a lot. Let me know if y'all can hear me in the chat. I'm not looking at this doom and gloomy. I'm seeing the light for all people. Imagine if people turn to God instead of the government. Clean food, clean mind, clean spirit. Exactly, Silver Sage. I agree. You could definitely run your normal necessities of solar and batteries. It don't take $1,000 to build high end system. Just takes a little research. Appreciate that. The off grid trucker, man. Hey, I appreciate you for being a moderator too, because we had some of them bots in the chat today. Man. But we gonna keep doing what we doing. But I wanted to do this live to show y'all, like, man, you can really start where you at. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know what I'm saying, you're not able to be out on land or whatever, you're still able to make your dollar stretch via, your food source, maximizing your food source, buying the certain staples and having that in your house and learning how to cook from scratch. All of that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I wanted to bring this live to y'all so y'all can really see that from somebody who's doing that. But let me see what y'all talk about in the chat. Cause I know I ain't addressed the chat this whole time, so I'm gonna see what y'all talking about in here. Let's see. Um, Depending on food, raiment, and clothing, or shelter, overexposure to the wrong people. Homeschooling is the best way to go. The school system is designed to dumb our children down. It is the off-grid trucker. It is. It is like when my son was in public school, like they would just send him home with a bunch of homework. It's like, is he really learning? But the homework he already had, because we homeschooled him before we sent him to public school. He was already ahead of that. He was already more advanced in that. So it's like all they was doing was just having them in the classroom and just sending them home with homework. Like, what are they truly learning? So yeah, it is designed to dumb our children down. Also take notes, create a journal of things you want to do with plan. I agree. You can grow sprouts on the kitchen counter all winter. That's a good point. And that's the thing. Like, if you don't got grow lights, you got a window in your house somewhere. You can put it on the windowsill and start growing something. Like Marty was saying, you can have the little tin cans. You can grow stuff in that. You can grow stuff in cups. Just grow something. All right, let's see what else. What else? Follow the money. I had a great childhood. They cannot have my experience. World population research. Local dirt. But yeah, y'all, man, I appreciate all the tips in the chat as well. I appreciate that. Prepare and take care of family. This has been encouraging. Thank y'all so much. No, for sure, Christy, most definitely. I got a small garden, can only grow in pots. Any ideas on what to start with? Right now, I would say start with leafy greens. Start trying to grow like the basics: lettuce, spinach. You know what I'm saying? See if you can start trying to grow cabbage or collard greens, something like that. Leafy greens. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I would recommend right now. Uh, Absolutely is not uncommon for multi-generational cohabitation where we're at. Yes. Save and use water bottles for seed start too. Yes, good point, off-grid chucker. Can grow lettuce in a seed tray, cut and grow again, cut again. Exactly. That's the thing about lettuce. That's what I love about growing like leafy greens. Like, you can cut the lettuce off, you can harvest it, and it's still gonna grow back. It's gonna grow back. It's gonna grow back. Apartments are great for quail. Close out the balcony in the winter. Pretty tarts, get a quail cage, 3 quail eggs equals 1 chicken egg. Silver Sage, it depends on what apartment you staying in though. It depends on if your neighbor's cool or not. Because if your neighbors ain't cool, you know what I'm saying, they smelling them quail or they seeing them and they go tell on you. Be careful. But if you can get away with it, definitely try it. Like, this is the thing. Like, even like in cities, most cities where like you in city limits and stuff in neighborhoods, like a lot of places they'll only allow you to keep like 5, 6 chickens, and they got to be hens. You can't have roosters. But this the thing though, like, let's say you want to fertilize and hatch your own eggs out. Just try it. You know what I'm saying? If you get caught, you get caught. Then you just have to downsize. But just try it. I know Led Farmer was saying that. He was like, he'll raise the roosters up to a certain point, and then he'll have to either sell them or cull them or something like that. But raise them up to a certain point, to the point where they can fertilize those eggs. You get what you need, and then you can, you know what I'm saying, do what you need to do, whether you got to sell it or if you can keep it. But just try it though. Just try it, because like, I just say, man, like when we lived in the suburbs, we had a lot of chickens. It wasn't until my neighbor's dog got out and started killing my chickens, and we basically got into it with them, that they called like the city on us, and that's when we had to kind of downsize our flock. But before then, man, we was having our way. So it's like, man, just do what you can. Try not to get caught. But don't do nothing too illegal though. Failure is the best teacher. We're all going to fall. Yeah, we're all going to fail. Yeah, you're gonna fail. You're gonna bump your head. Just like when you learning how to walk as a kid, as a baby, right? When you learn how to walk, you're gonna fall a few times. You're gonna get off balance, you're gonna fall. But guess what? Does that stop you from walking? No, you're gonna get back up and try it again. Says Americans are obsessed with the mentality of pending doom. That's true. It's that vision. That is so true. Nobody sells doom and gloom like good old America. Nah, for sure. Uh, Dr. Yaki. Yeah, I know Yaki Awaken. Yeah, I be listening to Yaki Awaken sometimes. That brother is very knowledgeable. What can I start growing here in Michigan? It's cold here. Look up your grow zone. Look up your grow zone and just Google things that you can grow in your grow zone during winter on Google. Say the quail are pets. Hey, Fox in the shed. That's a good point. Say they pets. Yeah, they pets, because usually they allow you to have a certain amount of pets. Absolutely. Shabbat shalom to you and the family. Just tuning in. What's going on, the nurse, Juris doctor? What's going on, fam? Thank you for tuning in. We had Cornish quail. They are quiet, and the cages are 18 inches tall. We had sheep, chicken, and quail so far. Wow, that's amazing. Silver Sage. I want to get into quail too. I do want to get into quail. Um, I got to do my research on them, but right now I'm focused on the chickens. And me, right now I'm at a point where I want to do just one thing at a time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm focused on getting my chickens and everything, getting my flock how I wanted to get it, and then I want to get my sheep, get my barn built, and then I'm gonna start venturing into other things. But I definitely want to get quail in the future. I really don't know where to start. What you mean? But so what's your goal? What do you want? Do you want to start growing some of your food? Do you want to start, you know what I'm saying, maximizing your food source? Do you want to get land to become self sufficient? Do you want to just garden? Like, what's your end goal? You got to ask yourself that. Chickens are the homestead staple. Exactly. Chickens are the homestead staple. Yes, I say chickens are the gateway. Chickens are the gateway into farming. They gonna provide you eggs. They gonna provide you meat, but they're also gonna till your land, and they're gonna give you fertilizer. They're gonna give you fertilizer to go in your compost. They're gonna till whatever land you put them on. Man, you can't beat it. You can't beat it with chickens. I'm telling you. Having a mixed folk is good for a lot of reasons. Oh, mixed flock? Are you saying a mixed flock? I have 13 acres of land with well and septic already installed. When I purchased it, I have an RV and pickup truck, but no structure. Not sure where to start. Okay, so you living in the RV. So, ask yourself what kind of structure do you want to build as far as where your dwelling place, or do you just want to dwell in your RV, or do you want to have a cabin? Do you want to have a traditional home? Do you want to put a trailer on it? You could do container homes. You could do tiny homes. So it's like what what's your like your living space? I don't know, like if you want to have a big house or you want to live in a tiny house. You got to ask yourself that. Once you ask yourself that, then you get your dwelling space in order. Draw a map. Like you could just draw it on a piece of paper, blank piece of paper. Draw an outline of your land, and basically like start to parcel it off where you want what to go on your land. You see what I'm saying? To start mapping out your land, and making a plan for yourself, for your land, and how you want your land to be. That's what I would say start with. Hey, my phone died. Enjoyed the chat. Thank you for having me on. Most definitely, Castleberry Branch. And if y'all haven't followed Castleberry Branch, go follow her. Also follow G Mama Grows as well. I'm gonna probably get G Mama on here next, and me and G Mama gonna chop it up too. But yeah, y'all go follow them too. They got some good content. Okay, I need to get with you pertaining to them sheep. Most definitely. Hey man, shoot me an email. Shoot me an email, Dre at setaparkgardens.com or sapgardens1 at gmail.com. Shoot me an email. If you got land, guinea fowl are really beneficial. That's another thing that I looked into is guinea fowl. The guy who I bought, who I be buying sheep from and goats and stuff, he got guinea fowl, and I kind of saw his setup, and I'm like, okay, they don't need much. But one thing he was telling me is that their younger years, you got to make sure that they're well taken care of because they can't die. Same thing with turkeys though, but I do want to venture off into those other birds. I heard peacocks as well. I heard peacocks are good for a lot of different things as far as being an alert system and keeping certain pests down. So I do want to get into a lot of that type stuff as well. You know your stuff. We just started selling at the market garden for a homeschooling project. My 6-year-old planted pumpkins and we brought them to the market. Very cool experience. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing that you did that. Get the solar lights and solar chargers. Yeah, I do want to get into solar though. I definitely want to get into solar. But I got like it's just taking a step at a time though. It's a lot of stuff that I want to do, but I know it's gonna take years to grow into a lot of stuff. You know what I mean, and get it to where I really want to get it to. Because man, I got big plans. Like what I'm doing right now, yes, it is great, and I'm able to provide a lot of my food. But man, when I tell you like I got huge plans as far as what I want out here on my land, I'm talking about all different kind of livestock, not just chickens and turkeys and quail and all that, but goats, sheep. I want to get like a horse or two. I want my kids to, what I'm saying, know how to ride horses. I'm gonna get some cattle out here, you know. But I'm gonna have it set up. I'm gonna have it set up out here. Y'all gonna see y'all on the journey with me. But one thing I'm gonna end off. I want guineas are clean meat too. Yes, guineas are clean meat. But one thing I want to end off on is what Marty said. She said, "You are responsible for you," and that's what I've been kind of teaching the past few weeks. You are responsible for you. Nobody is responsible for you but you. And so when you understand that everything rises and falls on you, then your mindset will start to change. And you'll start to look at things different, and you'll start to really take life serious, man. You'll start to take life serious because nobody owes you nothing. Yeah, I know you've been sold this illusion of security. You've been sold this illusion of, what I'm saying? Oh, we always gonna have food on the shelves, X, Y, and Z. Like in other cultures and other countries, especially like more third world, second world countries, where they may have the market where you can go, the farmers market or the city market, where they might have grocery stores, they might have this. A lot of those people still have some sort of homestead on their property. They still keep chickens, they still garden, they still have those skills. Like you can go to certain African countries, you can go to certain Asian countries. those people still are self-sufficient and they're not so reliant on the market, on the superstores, on their government. They know how to, you know what I'm saying, provide for themselves and their basic necessities. So it's like we should take notes from a lot of those people. They know how to hunt. They know their landscape. You see what I'm saying? They know how to fish. They know how to, you know what I'm saying, do certain stuff. Guinea eggs are pretty good. Close to a smaller duck egg if you can find them. Yes, I actually yeah, the guy who I bought the sheep and goats from, he had some guinea eggs, and yeah, they kind of look. I mean, they're not too much bigger than chicken eggs. The spoon that feeds you can also starve you, but we are not going to starve on our own. Stay prayed up, family. For sure, saved by grace through faith. Awesome live. Remember to like, share, and comment. Yeah, y'all, man, y'all hit that like button. Share this live to somebody who you feel like a benefit from this conversation, man. And let me know. Well, matter of fact, I'm gonna put a post on my community tab about going forward with the lives, how often I'm gonna do it and stuff like that. So y'all check that out. And I'm gonna let y'all get back to it, man, because I got a video that I'm gonna edit. I'm gonna probably drop it tomorrow. If you remember, you'll be able to see it today. But I got a video I'm gonna drop tomorrow, man. It's gonna be some real good game in there. So y'all check that out. And like I say, man, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. But he who has the power to feed you also has the power to starve you. See y'all on the next one.